Hey, welcome to Coco's Corner. I am the huge one, Dave Coco from Kocosports.com or Kocosports.net. It's where the world comes to get gas, your home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. We did a Fave 5 earlier in the day with the famous Wrestling Rankin, Fave 5 promo cutters of all time in pro wrestling, and I decided I'm going to try something new. We're going to do a Raw preview, a Raw alternative preview, and also a review of New Japan on AXS. Hey, welcome to Coco's Corner. I am the huge one, Dave Coco from Kocosports. Shut your mouth, Dave Coco. Thank you. Sorry about that. Just in the backgrounds. Sorry about that. Focus. Raw preview. I hope it's a good Raw. I honestly, I kind of am heartbroken about Raw because I don't even think it's the worst product in WWE. I don't think it's. Let me recap. I love pro wrestling. I try my hardest to be an enjoyable fan, but everything of Raw the last 2 weeks in a while has been the worst it's ever been. I actually prefer main event. I prefer NXT. I prefer SmackDown. I prefer so many other options. I hope this week's Raw is something good. According to WWE.com, which they're showing a picture of Kevin Nash, but I don't think Kevin Nash is going to be there. We're going to have, it's a reunion Raw. We're going to have a bunch of legends, which hopefully they can do something good with to put over younger talent. I remember last time they had a Raw reunion, they talked about John Cena, and it was fucking embarrassing. But they have Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Ric Flair, and Shawn Michaels. We're going to be there. And I guess according to WWE.com, we'll be joining them Kevin Nash, X-Pac, Jimmy Hart, Billy Gunn, and Ron Simmons. So now that I look at WWE.com, that's awesome for Kevin Nash because, you know, so much stuff happened to him. So I'm glad he's able to make it. And who knows? Sometimes these old school Raws are really entertaining. I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully with Daniel Bryan coming back, it should be really interesting. All right, let's see what else WWE says. Will Brock Lesnar exact vengeance against Seth Rollins? So I guess Brock is going to be there. But, man, did he lose his value quick? And then they have a question, is Dean Ambrose his worst enemy? No, his worst enemy is he's a good wrestler who's successful at selling merchandise, and that threatens John Cena. So really, John Cena is his own worst enemy. Or maybe Dean Ambrose, maybe Dean Ambrose is his own worst enemy because he's a good wrestler who can sell merchandise. So it'll be interesting. And the Yes Movement reborn. So on paper, it looks really good. The last thing WWE.com is advertising, Will Reigns and Big Show clash once again before the Royal Rumble match. Okay, I should have read that before everything looks good on paper. So it should be an interesting Raw. And if it's not, there's something that Beyond Wrestling's doing. I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo. It'll be streamed at youtube.com/Beyond Wrestling, and it's RAWlternative. And back in the day during the Monday Night Wars, we had some great alternatives to choose from. You know, we had ECW, but above that, we had WCW versus WWE or /WWF, depending on the time. And to me, if you're really fed up, because a lot of people on these review shows, especially the commenters community, are really starting to be fed up with Raw, even though when we do a Raw review, it's the #1 show on Kocosports. Ratings-wise, I don't understand it. I hope people check out other alternatives. And I think the best bet of doing this is have Raw on your television and have RAWlternative by Beyond Wrestling in the background. And even if you're just a WWE fan, Raw, I think if you have an option, you'll see slowly but surely you'll start checking out that other option. And Beyond Wrestling, I'm a huge fan of because they always push the envelopes. But here are some of the names on this card. It's not live. They get matches from all around different indie events. But you're going to see Young Bucks, which was our tag team of the year. Ricochet, which was a Pro Wrestler of the Year, also known as Prince Puma. You got Chris Hero. I'm just going down the list right here. So some of the things. Eddie Kingston, Kevin Steen. Now you know him as Kevin Owens. You got Brian Kendrick, AR Fox. So it's a pretty stacked card. I'll put the list down below. It's also on Beyond Wrestling and PW Ponders. But what I'm saying is, the majority of us watch Monday Night Raw just because, hell, it's the #1 show. It's the show we watch. It's the show we review. It's it is the show. But a lot of times people are afraid to take that next step. And I noticed this by fans. This is when I know you're afraid. When I say give you access to everything, but you're already making excuses before you saw the product. Example, well, I don't want to watch TNA because it's just this, it's that, it's this. Well, here, watch New Japan. It's got to be in English. It's got to be in high def. It's got to be. And the problem is, I honestly think you're afraid. You're afraid to leave Raw. You're afraid to leave the McDonald's franchise. But there's a whole world of great wrestling out there. Just like wine testers, food testers, movie critics. Once you get past the little bubble that you're in and you pop that Raw bubble, you might see more and more better wrestling. And in the long run, you'll also be improving the product that you're so afraid to leave. Because if enough people watch RAWlternative, watch New Japan on AXS TV, watch Lucha Underground, the more it'll force Vince McMahon, because that's the only way he makes the product better is if he's being forced to. It will. So what I'm suggesting is there is some great wrestlers, some that you've heard of, even if you just watch Raw, some amazing wrestlers. So what I'm asking you is just keep it on your YouTube. I'll put the link down in the doobly-doo. It's also on PW Ponderings. It's also on, what was I going to say? It was also on Beyond Wrestling's websites and social medias. And Beyond Wrestling, they're a little company that can. I'm kind of really proud of them because every time they do something, it's original, it's different, and this is one of them. They're taking it to another step, and who knows? Maybe you find a wrestler you fall in love with, such as the Young Bucks or Ricochet. Maybe you just decide, hey, I'm going to start checking out other stuff. Maybe you check out some of these indies that they have. They have a whole long list of indies putting it together. So what I'm saying is, it's hard to give up Raw. It's hard to give up Monday Night Raw for a lot of pro wrestling fans. What I'm saying is, just have it on your YouTube. Check it out. When the Bellas are cutting a promo, when John Cena is cutting a promo, most fans hate that shit. So just have it on your internet site. I think it's the ultimate way to get looking into other alternatives. And I appreciate Beyond Wrestling and all the companies that are doing this because, I'm still going to review Raw, but I'm hoping that with this, I can review other wrestling and the internet infantry and wrestling fans could come and join because I think, it's you hate Monday Night Raw, but you're afraid to leave it. You're afraid to leave that McDonald's restaurant and see the 5-star restaurant. You make excuses. It has to be in high def. It has to be in English. It has to be pretty much your has to be's. It has to be Raw. So just watch this stream while you also watch Raw and just go back and forth. And maybe it will whet your appetite and you can check out other wrestling. It's funny too because in wine, in food testing, in reviews, you review a product and you making the most money doesn't matter. Do you think any food critics go, well, McDonald's makes the most money? Fuck no. There's so many great restaurants out there. And the same thing with wine. And no one goes around and be like, well, I am a real experienced wine drinker, and I like my wine from New Zealand with a fruity tang kick. I don't know anything about wine. But anyway, so you get this wine, and you don't have people go, oh, you're just a hipster. You're just fucking an indie mark. You're just fucking a smark. You're just a fan with an internet connection. No one says that shit. Because it's not Raw. Really, you have Stockholm syndrome. You're like, I hate fucking Raw. I'm not gonna fucking check out anything else. No fucking way. What? And then as soon as you check out something else, you look for a flaw. Like I was showing someone the New Japan show with the Luchas, and they're like, oh well, the crowd's not big enough for me. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with the product? The fuck does that have to do? No one says, well, this steakhouse at its 5 stars is the greatest steak I've ever tasted. Doesn't have enough people eating here. No one talks like that. I just Monday Night Raw. Hey, we're loyal. We've been there from day one. Yeah, but even though we've been loyal and been there from day one and we support them, they fucking hate us. They're like, what? You have an internet connection? You have an opinion? Fuck off. And there's a whole world of pro wrestling out there. So hopefully you check out Beyond Wrestling's RAWlternative. I will try to get a link down in the doobly-doo as soon as I can. all right, this is the last thing I want to hit in this smorgasbord of action. It is my favorite company of all time, the New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm an absolute huge fan of it. I'm sad that I couldn't go to tonight's event, even though a lot of my friends are there, just health reasons and all that fun stuff. Yay! But New Japan on AXS TV, episode 1. I don't know if I'm going to review them all because this was from Wrestle Kingdom 7, the match. I don't know if I'm going to review them all. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I hopefully you check it out, and hopefully it's successful. I hope, because I believe in my heart of hearts, New Japan Pro Wrestling is the best wrestling in the world. Global Force showed that a little bit, and hopefully it gets English commentary. Hopefully it expands. Hopefully you consider buying Japan Worlds. They don't pay us, but hopefully, you could just check it out. You could feel the fucking what a steak feels like. You don't have to eat the McDonald's fucking Big Mac man every fucking week. With that said, it was a good show, and I'm thankful for AXS TV showing it. It was I do have some nitpicks. Jim Ross, I was a little mean on him, and I got to go back. I said, Jim Ross, what the fuck does it matter if you're not live in the arena? What the fuck? No, just fucking do it. Man up. And I was wrong. I was wrong. Jim Ross, you're right. It takes a bigger man to admit when you're wrong. Jim Ross, I'll accept your... No, I'm just kidding. Jim Ross is right. On Global Force, it sounded so much better with them being there live. Also, I thought the announce team did a great job. I thought the presentation was pretty decent, but I thought like the match was a weird match. The Global Force just came on, had one hell of a presentation, and you pretty much had a worst version of that match as your first match on. And my God, does New Japan love Tanahashi? Oh my God. They start off, I don't think I would have started off with a Tanahashi interview with him speaking Japanese with English subtitles. I don't think I would have brought highlights. I would have brought the history. I would have had a video package. I am so happy that AXS TV showed this match. I really enjoyed this match, but I don't think it came off that good. But I hope that they keep improving the product. I was like, really? This is the match? This is the presentation? And as far as the guys doing it, it's the former Strikeforce guys. Well, you had Josh Barnett. I'm trying to think of the other guy's name, even though I love him. The name slips me right now, and I apologize. MMA guy. Josh Barnett. Oh, come on. Where the hell is that dude's name? Oh, Maru Ranallo, and of course I slaughter it. I should have just been like the other guy. They do a great job in MMA. I thought they did a great job on the presentation. The sound sounded a bit weird because they weren't there live, but hey, we're nitpicking there. It's just that Global Force sounded so great. And I love Josh Barnett. He's in my Hall of Fame. He's a great pro wrestler, great human being, great fighter. But Josh, you got to realize you're putting, I'm sorry, I should call you by your birth name, War Machine. You got to realize that the babyface assassin, you have to realize that you have to put him over. There was like a part of the match, he's like, I wouldn't have done that. And I'm just like, come on. But overall, I thought it was really good. There was some nitpicking, but I think they can work it out. And I hope it takes off, because maybe this is the step of New Japan making an all-English version of New Japan Worlds. Maybe this is AXS TV putting their feet wet, because it's such a... I have no idea. AXS TV has done this, but I have no idea why Spike TV and other companies haven't done this way earlier. You have hours and hours of footage. WWE makes so much money by sending, and so does TNA, sending out their content around the world and putting subtitles on it. New Japan could do the same thing, and if you're AXS TV, if you're Spike TV, if you're a company like that, you don't have to deal with a Dixie Carter. You don't have to deal with anything. They're already successful in their own part of the world. All you have to do is put English commentary on it. The good thing about this style of show compared to Global Force is that it is crazy, crazy cheap to run. So I hope that people check it out. I wish they did a little better job, but it was kind of not an insult. It's kind of like, oh, I absolutely love you, New Japan. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. But I hope more people check it out. So there you go. Overall, I give New Japan on AXS TV a win. It's not perfect. They could work it out, but I think they should get video packages about the history and about that. We don't want the Tanahashi show. New Japan is better than that. New Japan has a roster of great wrestlers. We don't need Tanahashi to be John Cena. We need Tanahashi to be Tanahashi. And not only that, but just the match selection was weird. So hopefully they get into it. But the announcers did a great job. It just sounded funny. And sometimes, Josh Barnett has to be like, hey, you know what? I'm one of the greatest goddamn fucking fighters in the world, but it's my job to put these guys over. All right, so I don't know if I'll ever do this type of show again. I'm just trying to experiment here. It's young. I'm in college. Kayfabe Connection, really appreciate the retweet. Much love. Craig Classic, I really appreciate Craig Classic, the famous Craig Classic. Look at that. Oh man, I never thought Craig Classic would ever like our stuff on Facebook. Appreciate it. We have to get Craig Classic on the show. I got an idea for Craig Classic to get him on the show. And on the YouTubes, IamMiikey. Final card, RAWlternative. Oh, and he just listed out the card. Thank you, IamMiikey. We'll definitely have to do that. So please, while you're watching Monday Night Raw, I know people are afraid to leave McDonald's. They need their Big McMahon in them. I know that, it's tradition, it's history, and I'm not knocking that. I hate fans that say, oh, if you don't like it, why watch? Fuck you, I'm a Buccaneers fan. Fuck you, I'm a Rays fan. A real fucking fan sticks through the thick and thin. We're not no goddamn Seahawk fans around here. We are goddamn Buccaneer fans through the thick and thin. So I'm not saying give up your Big McMahons. I'm just saying, hey, have a RAWlternative on. Check it out. Check out guys like Ricochet. Check it out. And check out New Japan and support it. Check out other alternatives. We're not saying you can't, we're not going to be those super health, super wrestling nerds that say, don't eat your McMahons. And don't eat your Big McMahons because it's bad for your health and it's horrible wrestling. I don't want to be that. I want you to be like, hey, why not you try this new wine from New Zealand? Why not you try this 5-star restaurant right down the street from you? Have you ever had sushi? That's what we want. So please check out RAWlternative on the side. Please check out New Japan Pro Wrestling on AXS TV. And hopefully it gets a good enough number to make a profit that they can perfect the system. Because I do believe they have a great announce team. They have a great channel. They have a great product. They work out the kinks. I think it will be amazing. So please check it out. And also, after this show, we will be doing a Monday Night Raw review. And maybe we'll sneak in some RAWlternative comments in there. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. This was an experimental show. Tell me if you liked it. Be honest. Be like, you did it once. That's enough. I'll get the hint. You don't have to be any meaner than that, Internet. Or be like, hey, you know what? It's like New Japan on AXS TV. You shine some stuff up, fix some stuff here, go left when you're supposed to go right, and maybe I'll watch this every week. All right, so like, comment, subscribe. We will be doing a Raw review. We did our Fave 5s with the famous Wrestling Rantin', where we talked about our top promo cutters. And I like the Fave 5 show because the Raw reviews, you have to be honest. You can't just fucking, you can't be one of those. You don't want to be one of those shows. I mean, they're on YouTube. I'm so smart. Look at me. I'm on YouTube. Everything happens for a reason. You don't want to be one of those shows. But at the same time, it's fun to talk about what you enjoy in pro wrestling. And that's why the Fave 5 shows are so fun. All right, so please like, comment, subscribe. Check out Kocosports.net. Jerry, David Cooey, Scott Adams are busting their ass to try to make it your #1 stop for combat sports news. And hopefully I will get the right mixture of what you like on this channel and will become your #1 stop for previews and reviews. Who knows? So did I say like, comment, and subscribe enough? Like, comment, subscribe! With that, I am over. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum.